Okay, part 2. I'll just make this one long episode, I guess.
An opus, if you will.
Damn it.
Wait, before we get started.
Okay, so...
Who are we kidding? I'm going to finish off
for the
that
twofer, even though it's not really chronologically next, but it doesn't matter.
It makes Brett happy.
But I picked Zenyatta Mondatta because, to me, it feels very much like it's more candy coated. So it feels.
Regata?
It has the happy-go-lucky feel of a Stuart Copeland.
Yeah. So it's
experimental album.
I've never looked that closely into who is writing who, but I think it was blending together. But this just feels more like a Stewart-driven album. And I've always been fascinated by this because I can't think of an album that has more filler, but it's still a great album. It sounds like they farted this out in 10 minutes, but it's still incredible.
Do we need our filler bell?
So here's a...
No, he said
Okay.
said it's not filler.
This was 80, yes.
It's very short. There can't be much filler because it's so short.
Okay.
Yeah. So as long as you keep your fillering very short. This was, 80. Okay. Oh, so yeah, she's like the only really like professionally done songs on here, I'd say, are "Don't Stand So Close to Me," "Driven to Tears." Yeah, "When the World Is Running Down." So the first 3 songs is kind of it. Da. So you got 4
the radio songs.
Yeah, 4 radio songs. And it also doesn't just have that effect of some albums, because this was a huge hit and kind of a quintessential Police song. Can I?
Yeah, it's all right.
So it's not just that effect of some albums that we've done where it's just like 3 hits at the beginning of a crap album.
Mm-hmm.
This is more of a 2 classic. Well, da is good. So 3.
Well, you need to turn it up a little bit.
3 classic Police songs.
Just a touch. So I can hear it over the sirens.
I don't know what point I was making. Doesn't matter.
Oh, Don't Stand So Close to Me. Not 1986.
Like what we're saying with the giant meat block of Stuart Copeland of that album we just listened to, the Clark Kent, and then the sophistication that Andy and Sting brought to the table.
And can I point out, the lyrics are so deep. In the 80s, this was deep, man. Even though it's basically just a song about Lolita. It's just the same fucking thing.
I think what it was is they brought the mood down in a good way. The other 2 guys. Oh, what I was going to say was the first thing I ever heard with the Police, other than just the songs on the radio, I had the greatest hits, the one with the white cover with the little shadow outlines of them walking in a line. And I was like, wow, this band is so sparse and dark. Because that was my only real impression of them. Like their hits are very atmospheric and kind of melancholy. Like the rest of their stuff really isn't that way. It's kind of fun and upbeat. But for some reason, all of their hits just are in that sweet spot of like introspective, kind of large. We have 3 guys just filling a large space, but not in a stupid arena rock way.
Just as large.
I love the Police. Not law enforcement, but the band.
I mean, is there anyone who doesn't think this is a terrific song?
If they don't, then they need to go straight to hell.
Damn right.
This is produced by...
The only thing is the lyrics are about something that you're not supposed to do.
Co-produced by Nigel Gray, one of those English...
No teachers are supposed to be sleeping with their students.
He's not sleeping. He's trying real hard to resist.
Sure.
The character
what do they do in the Don't Stand So Close to Me 86, where
they're standing on a little tiny pedestal that spins around?
Oh God!
No, but where they're trying to make it more sophisticated.
Put your creepy trench coat on and spin in a circle.
Right, because the song is so beautiful because it's just so choppy and simple. But the 86 version, it's okay, but like it was so stingified. And there's the lyric in there where he adds in like that
Well, he puts.
I can't tell you how mad I was when I
that-
bought the greatest hits, and that was on there. It was just
Well,
like,
yeah, he puts it on line from Every Breath You Take on there, or from.
Oh, he does that all the
Turtles
time.
album or some shit.
He does that all the time. Where
always annoying.
he'll bring up lines from other songs at the end of.
Yeah, it's like he runs out of something to say, but he's not quite done scatting at the end of this tune, so
Yeah.
he throws in a line from another song.
But he added in the line, that book by Nabokov. In the 86 one, he goes, that famous book by Nabokov.
Ugh. Like we needed an extra descriptor for that?
Have you ever heard... Did you ever see Iron Man? He sang this with Sting on stage like a few years ago. And he's actually a really good singer. Robert Downey Jr. You should look it up. It was like, wow, not only are you a good actor and handsome, you can also sing really well. Fuck you.
die, Iron Man, die.
Yeah.
Well, he had that little bit of a drug problem there for a minute. So, it's not perfect.
I don't know why, but this song always sounds
I'm
like...
sure that wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
This song always sounds like the precursor to everything on Synchronicity.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why. I can't really explain that, but...
Synchronicity 1.
Did they
I
have
think it's just-
eggs every morning before they started recording on this Regata Frittata?
They were eating a lot of eggs.
Yeah, because it's the Frittata Regata song.
The frittata regatta. Frittata regatta.
Oh, this is Zenyatta Mondatta.
Frittata regatta.
Did they often take little statues and fill them with candy and then hit them with sticks and have a piniata regatta?
Wrong album.
Keep
Are
going.
we doing the Mufasa one?
One of these will land.
We're doing the Lion King.
In
In honor of
Hakuna
Beyonce.
Matata. Yeah. Okay. Zendaya?
Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata.
Wait, wasn't he really famous on that voice competition
Spituna.
show?
I wouldn't be surprised if this song is a Sting song
It is.
with...
It's a very Sting song. That's probably why I was equated with Synchronicity.
It's very Sting-centric or something. There's something about it.
So another thing that I think makes the police
It's
is
a lot of words that sound good together. That
Don't
I
really mean.
guess they really... Is this a song about something? I don't know.
is like Andy Summers is his silky smooth choral flange. I can't remember what it was. Maybe like TCE. Oh no, it was the Electric Mistress, which I think was, I don't know the company. If Christopher J. Wyman was here, he could probably tell me. But yeah, his is more of like a cool wave going off into the peripheries that fills in space really well. So it's like the elements of the police, where Sting is playing really mostly. I mean, he can get sophisticated here and there in parts when he needs to fill, but for the most part, he's just playing like really sparse, like a few note riffs that anyone can learn how to play on bass. But he's just hitting the right stuff. Here's When the World is Running Down, you make the best of what's still around. I think this is another Sting one because he does this a lot solo. So yeah, you have a very busy drummer with Stewart.
And it sounds very Dream of the Blue Turtles and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is like, you see this later. Like, oh, he just wanted to make an entire album of this.
Yeah, so I can't remember it was when Stuart Copeland was talking about doing the remasters of Police albums, and he was talking about, oh no, it wasn't remasters. He was talking about, he was doing some side project, and he was talking about like trying, like isolating elements within Police songs, and how some of them just don't work at all if you take out any element, or they make no sense. Like the bass will make the guitar or whatever will just. He specifically brought up Message in a Bottle, where he's like, it's just these these disparate components that magically coalesce into this amazing song. You try to take out any of the pieces of that pie, and it just sounds like weird crap.
Funny, you should say that, because we just listened to that Stuart Copeland album that I just kept saying, whole lot of backbone, not filled out. It sounds narrow in scope. where I think that's what's cool about Police songs. There's, even when it's sparse, it's like a room full of sound. Everything that needs to be there is there.
It's something that fascinates me the most about the Police, besides the fact they're good. Rush to a lesser degree, but I don't like Rush. But bands where it's not just or a lot of artists. Okay, there's just some central theme. You can always hear the underlying song that was written by somebody on the guitar or the piano, and it just sounds like stuff was piled on top of it. With the Police, it sounds like three or four things perfectly intersecting,
Right.
like a machine, like a well-oiled machine that just came together. Yeah, like where you can't separate any of the elements, and it's hard to hear the basic underlying idea of it. I love Sting's boring ass version
Stuart
of
Copeland
this.
thing, I know the parts he's adding to it. I can hear it.
This song is kind of
He likes a
hypnotizing
choppy
song.
sound. He likes everything. When you hear something choppy now, I think, oh, was that Stuart Copeland's idea? It's like,
Yeah.
make that very clipped sounding.
I'm sure at the Sting concert you went to, you thoroughly enjoyed the snoozy jazz version of this.
I don't remember. I
This
was
is
asleep.
not the Susie Jazz version?
Oh no!
Oh no! I went to see him on the snooziest tour ever. I think he called it Sting, the Sleep Tour,
Okay.
where he made this
'Cause
whole
I-
thing.
if
No,
he had a Miller
it was
Bell, I
the
would be
first
ringing it
time
right
he
now.
played Police songs on his tour. So if anybody wants to look that up, then they'll know when
Here's
I saw
Canary
how
in a
old I
Coal
am.
Mine, one of Richard Blade's favorites.
Ooh.
Why do I shout him out so much?
I love this song.
This album was co-produced by Nigel Gray, a very English bastard who has produced such artists as Wishbone Ash, Polyphonic Size, Charlie Peacock, Hazel O'Connor. He also worked. Oh, there you go. That's the connecting tissue. He also worked with Stewart on the Clark Kent thing. I don't know how many of the Police albums Nigel did, because I know what's his name from Genesis Shapes, their producer. Can't remember his name, I'm blanking, but I'm pretty sure he did one of.
Rick Rubin.
No, he might have just produced all of them.
You get so dizzy even walking in a straight line.
Damn it, who did Shapes?
This has a definite reggae sound.
Yeah.
I think it's just when you nail a unique sound, the whole filler thing can be very forgiving, because as long as it's unique, it's like, yeah, okay, this sounds like it was written very quickly, but it's so much fun, and it's just a great sound.
Well, whoever talked Sting into doing this song was smart, because this is great. Because I can't believe his melancholy ass wanted to do this.
Yeah. Hugh Padgham. He's worked with every other artist I like, but not the Police. Wait, he did. Oh yeah, he did Ghost in the Machine and Synchronicity. There we go. This album is nice and short. Here's voices inside my head. This is where the filler begins. Where you have
Are you sure?
voices inside my head, bombs away. Da-da-da. They put it in there just to break up the filler, but then behind my camel. Man in a Suitcase is also an actual song, but then Shadows in the Rain, The Other Way of Stopping. So half of this album is very clearly and obviously filler, but it's still damn good. I have to pee, talk amongst yourselves.
What do you think, Chris? Have you listened to a Police album through? Other than the ones we've done on here, like Synchronicity?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
Although I have heard I Dream of the Blue Turtles 4,000 times, all the way through every time.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so interesting when I watched the documentary about the Police that it was so weird how they literally, for like their entire existence, they basically just, they would make an album and go on tour. And then they didn't take any time off, and they'd make an album, and then they'd go right back out on tour before that album was even out. They were like touring, and I've heard of this before. I've heard of other like bands that would basically were on tour so much the album hadn't come out yet, and they're already supporting an album that hasn't come out yet. You know, I think Bon Jovi did that for New Jersey. I think they were already on tour before New Jersey came out because it's just kind of like they're just like keep it going.
Keep that train rolling.
Which is a great pop album, by the way. I know it falls under the hair metal category, but New Jersey is a really good album, like all the way through. It's kind of solid. We should listen to that one sometime just for fun. Just because...
Yeah, we still got to do Springsteen.
It's just poppy. Like, no, I'm just saying, like, Bon Jovi gets a short shrift a lot of time.
Oh.
But he's a
I thought
good...
you were talking about Bruce Springsteen.
No, Bruce Springsteen's obviously a good songwriter.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, occasionally, Jon Bon Jovi pops up with a song and you're just like, yeah, they played it on the radio too much, but you do know it's written really well. He had a formula down that was really successful. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it was good stuff. It was good, nice Americana type music, you know? It was kind of like he was the stopgap between Mellencamp and, well, like, not between Mellencamp and Springsteen, but I mean, he was like the radio-friendly, everybody can listen to this.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a stopgap,
Anyway.
all right.
It's like the police. Anyway, what I was getting at was
Stop talking about Bon Jovi.
no. I was getting at how the police, they are in their own category to me. Like there's this English thing, and even in the English bands that were
I have to filler
that
bill this song. I'm
1980.
sorry.
Yeah,
sorry, police.
I was going to ring it 2 songs ago.
But anyway, I just wanted to say,
But it's yeah.
even in their own category of that 1978 through 83 time period where English bands were just the shit. Mm-hmm. You know, and no American band could even get in the way. It's like, nope, get out of the way, the police are here.
But Jon Bon Jovi was the stopgap.
Almost. It took him a while, but he got there.
There's bombs away, but
That was 84.
we don't. Bomb.
Slippery when wet.
Away.
Hey, wait, what's the name of this album again?
Regata Schmapada.
No, you said
In
the
my dreams.
Yeah, see, the
Masha
thing is,
Zendaya?
okay, so like the last song, Voices in My Head, halfway through it becomes clearly filler, but I just
Yeah,
love...
like they added 2 minutes.
But
to
I
that.
just love the sound of the police, that it doesn't matter to me. Here's I don't know what it means, but there were a lot of new wave post-punk songs about, like, fun military excursions, like ironic military excursions. There's another one by XTC called Generals and Majors, and there's probably a million more that are escaping me at the moment, but...
You don't think it was ironic?
Like, I mean, there was the whole combat rock album. It was just... It was a new wave trope of... Yay, or I don't know, like a cartoon military thing. I don't know.
99 Luftballons.
Mm-hmm.
Bombs away, we're okay.
99 Sage Luftballons.
That was the first woman I ever saw with armpit hair.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like.
Wow.
What's happening to her?
Because men can't see their own armpit
Does she not
hair.
have access to razors?
Men have terrible peripheral vision. We can't see our own armpit hair.
Oh, you don't even want to see mine. It's like a thicket. I have to trim mine a lot just to be in public.
Here's one of the few Andy Summers guitar solos in a police song.
I'm going to buy one of those back shavers. I found another couple of hairs back there. I don't like it.
His
I'm
awesome...
turning into Brenton.
Man,
I'm okay.
he's just...
We can talk about this offline.
This is... Actually, as far as filler goes, I want to say this song is totally listenable. It's like... It's like the Wham filler It's like, well, if you like Wham, it's Whammy.
It's still the police.
It's still the police.
I think even if there's not a great underlying song, there's always somebody in it salvaging it. Usually, all of them. So even if the basic underlying song isn't anything mind blowing, it's like you still always have an amazing drummer, guitarist, and singer, almost at all times. Like that's another good. Oh, here's one of my favorite Police songs that I actually didn't like at first. Weirdly, da do 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 da da da. Now it's one of my favorites.
Awesome.
What was, crap, I had a good point there and now it's gone. I had something to say.
The video was horrible.
Yeah, where they were at
They're
some
just on a hill.
chalet in Switzerland dancing in the snow.
Yeah. Get back on tour, you little bitches. This is all three of them coming together, by the way. Can't you tell?
See, it coalesces again.
There's good guitar work going on. There's a good drumming going on. Everything is doing exactly what it needs to do. Love it.
That's another thing I really love in
the eloquence escapes.
In some Police songs when it almost doesn't sound like a regular just, Fender bass, where occasionally it sounds like they're overlaying like a synthesizer, so you get more of this like farty synthesizer low-end bass sometimes, which I always think is one of those really cool little added details into Police songs.
Mm-hmm.
It might just be his bass, but I don't know. It always sounds like it goes like a little thicker and globbier at times.
I always felt like it sounded like Sting knew how to play the bass, but he always purposefully kept it simple so he could concentrate on the singing.
Yeah, it's just kind of getting
like,
out of the way.
Like almost, I wonder if, because I never got to see him in concert, I wonder if they had somebody playing bass sometimes for him. I don't know, but it was just like he's an ego. He knows
occasionally
his voice is the thing.
I think occasionally he would just sing, but like 80% of the time, I think he's still always playing bass.
He doesn't do it when he's on his own. He's all over the place. He'll play whatever the f*** he feels like now. It's like, I'm going to play the ukulele. I'm going to do an entire album of ukulele music.
Oh boy!
I'm going to sing a bunch of. No, I'm going to make an entire album of Swiss holiday songs on the ukulele.
Man, if
I'm
ever like
winter's night,
that was a good album. That
Okay, Grandma.
That medieval songs from the Labyrinth, where he was doing all of these medieval shanties.
Come on, man! All right, I have to admit, I got that album.
One day I would
Shut up! Don't say anything.
Whatever. What was his last actual solo album? That was so bad. I would love to tear that one a new asshole. I don't know if he went through extensive writer's block or something. I saw some interview where he's like, how I got back into writing songs. Because, yeah, he didn't... I mean, he kept putting out stuff, but it was mostly like what Peter Gabriel was doing with the just orchestrations and revamping of old stuff, or like collaborations. But yeah, there's a long time between proper albums, because there was Sacred Love, which is like 2008.
That's the accounting version of just keeping a hand in it.
And then he didn't put out another
I'll
proper...
come in a couple times a week just to see what's going on.
Yeah, and then he didn't put out another proper solo album
help you out of tax season. I'll do a collaboration with you.
Semi-retired.
I'll do a collaboration with you,
Oh man, the end of the song I could listen to on repeat until I died. It's so perfect.
This next song?
No, the end of
Okay.
Oh, what was it? Oh god, the 57th and 9th album he put out 2 years ago. So bad. So bad.
I don't even
Sorry,
know.
Sting. Love you. But it sounded like he was purposely trying to sound like just some bar band thing. Like the songwriter. Oh god.
When you're as rich as Sting, you can do whatever you want, I'm sure.
I think he liked it because it's totally unsophisticated. Whatever, I'll save that for another episode. It's just, what were you, like...
Chris like Dream of the Blue Turtles.
Yeah, here's the most filler song on this album. Did you know this won a Grammy? This won a Grammy for Best Instrumental Performance.
I was just going to ask if this was a Pink Floyd song that somehow accidentally got in the middle of the playlist.
That's how much of a joke the Grammys are. Basically, you just had a few people high on cocaine going like, I don't know, who's the most popular band right now? Let's find an instrumental that they did.
Right.
And this somehow won a Grammy. I like the song, but no. I think this might have been an Andy Summers composition. Yeah, this one also sounds like it could have been on Synchronicity. I mean, it wouldn't have made the cut, but it still has that kind of...
If I couldn't find Law and Order on one night and I needed to get to sleep, I would put this on.
Yeah, it kind of has that Near East kind of vibe.
57th and 9th was for 2016. I think
Yeah, you get the point. It goes on like that for another minute. Here's Man in a Suitcase. This is one of my personal favorites.
Sumner's Tales.
It's a very cute
song. That's totally
song.
A Brett album.
Yeah, so this is by far the cutest Police album. Like Canary in a Coal Mine, Man in a Suitcase. It's just
They're
cute.
selling little vignettes.
Yeah, it's a song about touring too much. How's my suitcase?
Then again,
looks
so
like
is most of
home
I
to me,
Dream of the Blue
alright.
Turtles. It's all little vignettes.
We'll do Dream of the Blue Turtles one day. A man in a suitcase.
How much could you possibly say about it? It's a really good
Straight
album,
face.
if I remember right.
It's an okay album.
It's got a couple of real gems.
Yeah, I love...
It's like a lot of albums in the 80s where there's like... If it's an awesome album, it might have 4 singles on it. That's incredible in the 80s. Because usually it was like, ooh, we have a single. Now, give me 9 shitty songs, and we'll make an album, and I'll throw it out there. And I'm not going to say anything. You know, there's only like 10,000 examples of ones that you would even know, let alone the ones that didn't even make the cut. But
Yeah, the song has a great breakdown.
I remember being constantly on the search in my teenage years for an entire album that was good.
I'm high on VapoRub right now.
He's a man in a suitcase. Suitcase? Man in a suitcase?
Oh, that's what I was going to say before. What was the origin? I always wonder what the origin of the... I know it's a reggae trope, but like the EO! All those, like, those vocal fillers that Sting does. Like, there's another one, I forgot what it was. EO! And, crap, there's another one.
Synchronicity 2.
Like how Sting always says, whenever it's the word you, he always goes, yeah!
He does.
He pronounces you, yeah. Shadows in the Rain, another boring filler song that I still like, as long as I don't have to sit and listen to it and talk over it. This was a very early Sting song that was like a holdover that I think he did this early on with his previous band before the Police was, but he did this. So yeah, this was an oldie by this point.
Yeah. And I don't mean it in a bad way, but Sting is really in love with the sound of his own voice.
Yeah.
This song is on I Dream of the Blue Turtle.
Yeah. It's one of the rare ones where Sting's solo version is better than...
Yeah, I really like that song, and this just sounds wrong.
Because it sounds like a jazz song, and it sounds a bit stunted on here. I still
and he's so
like...
far away from the mic. He's got a whole echo thing going.
Yeah.
It's like so stylized. It's getting lost.
So I still like the
It's a
beat.
great
It
story
just drags it
So obviously
down
he
a bit.
wanted to revisit it.
It's just definitely the weakest song on this album, but...
Yeah, and on paper it's a great song. It's got
That's
good
funny
lyrics.
that-
It's got a strong backbone, and
I'm listening to
This
it
is
going,
just
if this is
lost.
playing in the background while I'm doing something else, I find it fine.
Katy Perry brand
What do you think of that? Because I thought it
smells
smelled like
just
shit.
like her music. Wonderful!
This is going to fade quickly.
Ooh.
ooh, them's fight words. Ow!
Well, she refuses to show me her boobs.
exactly does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. You get catty.
Maybe. Hey, he just winked at you.
He winks.
Doink. He's the only dog I've ever seen whose eyes blink totally independently.
Yeah, this song goes on for 5 minutes.
Oh my god, that is a good
Holy
song.
crap, ring the filler bells. Yes,
Wow.
ring the filler bells. Ooh, that's a good one.
Where's my whip sound?
Simply irresistible. Oh wait, no.
Driven to tears.
We need to get Robert Palmer to go. I'm missing a syllable.
You know what I'm going to sing over this song? Driven to tears.
Yeah. We need Robert Palmer to go. Simply skippable. Oh wait, he's dead. Never mind. Never mind.
He had butt cancer.
Oh well.
Maybe I can find an interview with him saying the word skippable or skip and able and mash them together and do it. Yep, I'm skipping this. I'm sorry. That's super filler. From now on, from now on, anytime there's filler in the future, I'm just calling it Shadows in the Rain. Here's the other way of stopping. Last song. And then I move.
Woo!
Thanks, Coors Light, for sponsoring.
Mountains. Look, mountains. Yep, got them all over around here.
Is Tap the Rocky supposed to sound like humping a mountain?
Ew.
No, it's like you went and stuck a spigot into the mountain and Coors Light came out.
So goddamn refreshing. It's like drinking mountain water.
You're on a cliff face, and then you put in your whatever that's called, the
sap sucker.
And then like beer shoots out and blinds you, and you fall off the mountain and die.
Isn't that how we all want to go?
Yeah. So I think I had it nailed. This album is a whole lot of filler. But I still like it. I didn't mean to disparage any of this.
My friend.
Well, this is the second one, right? Is this the second one?
Second what?
Album.
Oh, no.
This is the third. Because we were talking while you were pissing about how...
Yeah, this is 3.
I told Chris, is like, they got popular touring, so then they just got into this habit of they whip out an album really quick, and then they go right back out touring again. So basically, from 78 to 88, they were just touring.
Yeah, and this is the only album I think that really just sounds like a pit stop during touring. And honestly, just...
But with 4 good songs in it. It's like, 4 is kind of my line.
Completely burned out.
4 is my line. It's like, you put enough into it for 4 friggin' songs on an album. And in... around 1980, that's pretty good.
If they're completely burnt out from touring constantly,
you got your money's worth out of that album if 4 songs were good.
No, I still love this album. The band had a unique enough sound where even when it's clearly filler, I still love it. There's nothing on here I dislike other than like halfway through Shadows in the Rain where it's just like you could have done something else with that, but
yeah. Well, and even the filler, it's their sound.
Their instrumentals a lot of times I feel like
still an interesting
I'm just going to
sound.
throw this out there as a thought. Their instrumentals a lot of times sound like they could have just came like the idea was only about a 2-minute idea, and then they just did it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, you just find a way to stretch it out. But they were really good at stretching it out.
You made an entire album. Good job.
So I give it 3 Zendayas out of 4 frittatas.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a 70. No, let's. I give it like a 70. I don't know something clever that would add up to like a 78%.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I would go a little bit higher. I would go like B plus A minus right there, right on the like 4 awesome songs and the rest is like if I can get 4 good songs, maybe 5 if you just like a song. You know, it's like, that's pretty lucky, you know?
I'm giving it 18 hakunnas out of 27 matattas.
Woohoo! Lion King. Because Sting probably thinks he's the Lion King.
I had a really good point in there. Give me a minute. I had.
All right.
I
60,
kept losing
59,
there. I was always on the
57,
cusp.
56.
That'll help me remember.
Well, it's across the nose. I'll just say random things until it just pops into your head.
Doink.
So you were like, you know, make sweet love to him. I would totally become a human for you.
Nope.
All right.
Bye.
Hakuna Matata.
Stop with the Lion King shit. We know it's coming out.
Oh, right. It's coming out. I was just saying it rhymes.
She didn't even know that.
It just rhymes with this album name.